Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today I'm coming to you with another range report. And today's range report is going to be over the Colt Railgun 1911 chambered in .22 long rifle. This is actually made by Walther or Umarex in Germany and imported into the United States by Walther Arms. This particular example is on loan to the channel from my good friend Jack. I'm actually excited to get to shoot this because I used to own one of these many years ago. Don't know why I sold it. So I'm curious if my opinions about it have changed. So let's put some rounds down range and let's find out. Well, that thing shoots as sweet as I remember. Very accurate and a lot of fun. And of course, right now in 2021, when we have the great ammo shortage, well, shooting .22 can save you a lot of money. That was a pretty quick round of shots there, but let's find out how accurate I was. The target was set at 7 yards. And without really aiming too much, got it all right there in the center of the target. Let's load up a few more magazines. Let's see how the reliability is and how much more I enjoy it. Alright, so I'm going to take a moment here to talk about an issue I just discovered when it comes to loading these magazines. The sides of these magazines have a little slit in them where you can see how far they are loaded, and they have a little lever to help you depress the follower, which is common on all of these Walther .22 magazines. Well, the edges of this magazine are extremely sharp, and I have cut my thumb. I didn't even realize it until after I've loaded about 4 or 5 of these magazines. Well, apparently this is something you need to watch out for. I don't know if it is just with this particular magazine or all of the magazines. I don't remember having this issue in the past, but it is definitely something I'm going to have to be aware of. Well, let's get back to shooting. I got to clean up my thumb. Let's put some more rounds down range. Alright, so for this magazine, we're just going to try something. We're going to put some standard velocity .22 in this and see if it runs. Normally these don't work well on semi-autos. I don't have many hopes, but who knows, maybe I'll get lucky. Let's find out. Well, that doesn't sound like it fully cycled. Nope, it did not. Well, it looks like you can't run standard velocity ammo through this, but the high velocity stuff works just fine. Well, all I can say is this gun is as nice and as sweet to shoot as I remember. Man, I really regret selling it or trading it. I don't even remember. This is a very high quality 1911 chambered in .22. All the controls work. It'd be a great training pistol. and it's just a fun plinker if you just want to go out and get the feel of a 1911 and not spend a lot of money. Well, let me go home, get this back to the garage, get it cleaned up, and formulate my thoughts. Let's talk about this gun some more. All right, so I got this thing back here to the garage, got it cleaned up, had a day to think about my thoughts, and I'm just gonna say flat out, I regret ever selling or trading the one that I had. This is just one fantastic firearm. Yeah, it's a 1911 chambered in .22, but man, this thing is a lot of fun. And for what it is very, very high quality. I have found that many companies, when they downsize firearms from center fire to rim fire, they'll often cut corners. Obviously, you have to make the guns with a little bit different mechanical operation and with different materials to help the gun cycle. But I think Walther, for the most part, does a pretty good job using the highest quality materials as they can and still making the gun function as close as they can to a real 1911. And that's one of the reasons that this is such a good gun for training purposes. Obviously, using 45 ACP to train on a 1911 all the time will get prohibitively expensive. But if all you have to do is shoot .22, this is a fantastic alternative. The gun is super attractive and super reliable, as you guys saw from the videos from the range. The only thing that it would not cycle and run with was the standard velocity ammo, which I wouldn't expect it to run anyway, but I thought I would give it a try. So to talk about the controls and the disassembly of this gun, which I really can't show on YouTube without it risking getting demonetized, so I'll kind of talk about it. But let's talk about the controls first. The grip safety here on the back is functional. It functions just like a standard 1911 grip safety. So does the safety lever or the thumb lever on the side. So this is a single action gun. So when this is up, the gun is on safe. And when the hammer is down, you cannot activate the safety. The slide lock here works exactly the same way. So all of the controls are exactly the same. Another thing that I really like about this is the fact that they add a lot of modern features of the 1911 to this particular gun, such as forward cocking serrations, and also this cocking serrations both in the front and back are slanted. You do have a Picatinny rail here, so you can add any lights or lasers that you would want to add. You also have a lightened trigger, so you have the drilled holes right in there, and all of the grips that would fit on a standard 1911 will fit on this particular firearm. And just like most of the Walther firearms, if you want to run a suppressor or run the gun suppressed, they do have an adapter, and that's what Jack has added here. So this will run a standard thread pitch for a .22 suppressor, which is 1/2 by 28 right-hand threads. That is really cool. So you just get a ton of options. The sights are also dovetailed, so you can replace those, I believe, with just standard 1911 sights. It is just overall a fantastically designed, attractive, reliable firearm. And as I mentioned, I regret I ever sold or traded mine. In fact, after we went to the range, my wife said, I really want one of those. So I might be in the market for one of these here in the near future as a gift for my wife, because she really enjoyed shooting this. Now, let's talk about the magazine issue I had at the range. As I showed in the video, the magazine cut my left thumb a number of times. And that has to do with the fact you have this little loading lever here on the side, which you can push down with your thumb. Well, my thumb was rubbing up in this channel here. I guess it's so that you can see how many rounds are loaded in the magazine, and it cut my thumb up a number of times. Well, even when I got it home here to the garage and I was cleaning it, I disassembled the whole magazine, and as I was reassembling it, guess what I did? I cut my right thumb doing exactly the same thing. So this magazine has to get dehorned. All the sharp edges need to get sanded down. So if I had this particular gun, I would have to do that to all of my magazines. Otherwise, you are gonna just chop your hands up and your thumbs up a ton. I don't remember this being an issue on the one that I had in the past, but it is with this particular example. I'm not going to fault the gun and give it a lower score because of that, but I have pretty much cut up my thumbs pretty bad, and so I've had to wear a Band-Aid on both my thumbs today. It's kind of embarrassing. Now, another thing about this gun that I really like is how similar it is when it comes to disassembly to a real 1911. So the gun does use a barrel bushing in the front and does have a spring plunger. So it would come apart just like a normal 1911. So you would depress the plunger, rotate the barrel bushing. I'll see if I can do this here without having to put it on the table. Well, I meant to put it on the table here. So just like that right there. And of course you can pull the spring out and the barrel bushing rotates off just like it normally would. The only main difference between this and a real 1911 is the fact that the slide will come off the back and up and over versus the slide going forward like a typical 1911. The slide lock does come out just like a standard 1911, so you would push it through once the gun is field stripped, just like a standard 1911. So from a training standpoint and an introductory standpoint to someone that might be unfamiliar with 1911s, this is a wonderful platform. The gun ran reliably, the gun was extremely accurate, and because it shares all of the ergonomics with the 1911, it fits in your hand beautifully. As I mentioned, my wife absolutely loved it, felt it was a very natural gun to shoot, and we just had a ton of fun and didn't have to spend a lot of money because it was all 22 long rifle. So my overall impressions of this gun is it is better than what I remember. And I've become more of a gun snob over these past few years, so I think that says a lot. So I'm definitely going to be taking a look at picking up one of these. I'll give you guys just a couple more close-ups here of the gun to show you all of the markings and the design of it. As I said, it looks just like the real deal. It's extremely attractive, well finished, well built. It does not feel like a cheap firearm at all. It's amazing that they were able to make a gun this size function with 22 long rifle and make it feel just like a real 1911. I definitely want one of these things again. So how do I rate this on my little star evaluation of 0 to 5 stars? Well, I'm going to give this thing a perfect score. It actually exceeded my expectations. And I know that's weird because I've owned one before. But the reason it exceeded my expectations is I forgot how nice this gun was. This thing is just simply awesome, fun, reliable, accurate, great for training, has tons of options, made by a great company, Walther, under license from another great company, Colt. You can just do all with this thing. It is just a wonderful 22 pistol. Is it the best one out there in the world? Probably not. Is it a competition pistol? No, it is not. But for a fun, range, plinking gun, which I guess, if 22 was the caliber of choice, I guess you could defend yourself with this thing. I personally wouldn't, but I know that you could. I am just super happy with the performance, even though it did cut up my thumbs a number of times. So there you go. So that is my range report and impressions of this just awesome Colt Railgun 1911 made by Walther. Just fantastic, and I'm gonna have to go get me one. So, do you guys own one of these Walther 1911s? What do you guys think? And are your impressions the same and as positive as mine are? I would love to hear your experiences in the comments section below. And by the way, if you've made it this far in the video, I always appreciate your support. If you're interested, go check out my second channel, which I have started, the Texas Gun Vault 2. I'll put a link in the description below. It's kind of a behind the scenes channel. I'm trying to get more subscribers over there, so feel free to go check it out. It is completely different than this channel is. A little bit more casual. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.